morning students of class 8th. In previous video we have completed about nervous system. Now one chapter is left in your course and that is chapter number 3. That chapter number 3 is reproductive system. So today in this video we are going to start about this reproductive system. Now first, what is reproduction? You know, death is a compulsory fact, and if after completing their lifespan all the individuals of different species will die, if only this death process is continued, certainly there will come a stage when the individuals of different species will become extinct. So to maintain their species in this living world, the individuals of different species produce new offsprings just like them. And what purpose? To maintain their race in this living world. So how can we define reproduction? Reproduction is the process with the help of which individuals of different species produce new offsprings just like them to maintain their race in this living world. This is the definition of reproduction. Now reproduction is of two types. Reproduction is of two types. What are those two types? Number one is asexual reproduction. The reproduction in which the sex parts means in case of flowers in class 6 you have studied about stamens and pistil, whose group names are androecium and gynecium. These are the reproductive parts of the plant. In the same way, testis and ovaries, these are the reproductive organs in case of animals. If these parts in plants or in animals are not involved in reproduction, then such type of reproduction is known as asexual reproduction, in which only one parent is required. But in reproduction, if these parts are involved in plants or these parts are involved in animals, then such type of reproduction will be termed as sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, two individuals are involved. You see, stamen is the male reproductive organ, pistil is the female reproductive organ, testis is the male reproductive organ of male, and ovary is the female reproductive organs of females. So in this type of reproduction, you see two partners are involved, male as well as female, and such type of reproduction is called sexual reproduction. So you have studied the definition of reproduction and how many types of reproduction. After that, the new term which we are going to start is formation of zygote. The reproductive organs. Here in this chapter we are studying especially about humans. So testis produces the male reproductive unit, or you can say male gamete, which are known as sperms, and ovary produces female reproductive unit, or you can say gamete, is known as ovum. When this ovum is fertilized by sperms, then it will give rise to zygote. In this way, this zygote is formed. And have you heard the name haploid or diploid or not? Haploid means all those cells which contain half the number of chromosomes. As I think you know, in your cells the total number of chromosomes is 23 pairs, means 46. Such type of cells which have paired number of chromosomes are known as diploids. And if inside the cell the number of chromosomes is becoming half, that is only 23, not pair, then such type of cell will be termed as haploid. So cells may be haploid or may be diploid. The gametes are always haploid. The gametes are always haploid. And when these two haploid gametes, male and female, will fuse together, will fertilize together, then they will give rise to a zygote which will be diploid in nature. So due to fusion of haploid male and female gametes, a diploid zygote is form. Okay. Now next term we are going to start male reproductive system. You know, this is the sign of male reproductive system of human. In case of humans, there are two testes, and these two testes lie inside a sac-like structure known as scrotal sacs. This scrotal sac and these two scrotal sacs lie outside the abdomen, not inside the abdomen. And these are the two testes which are contained inside the two scrotal sacs. Now, what is the importance of containing the two testes inside scrotal sacs? The scrotal sacs provide suitable temperature for the proper development and maturation of the sperms. This is the function of containing these testes inside the scrotal sacs. Now, the two testes produce, we are going to enlarge the diagram. Suppose this one is one testis. If the testis is divided into large number of lobes, and these lobes produce large number of sperms. Sperms are collected by a large number of ducts. All the sperms which are produced in millions or trillions, they are collected by means of some ducts. All these ducts after collection of sperms, they will fuse together, they will join together to give rise a single one. That single duct will travel upside from the side of the testis, and on the top of the testis it will form a cap-like structure. This cap-like structure is known as epididymis. After forming this one, this one is what? A cap-like structure made up of tubular structure. So this tubular structure, after forming this epididymis, after forming this cap-like structure, will terminate downward, and it again enters inside scrotal sac. This is duct. It goes upside and again comes downward. After coming downward, again it will ascend upward and will enter inside the abdomen. That is the large number of ducts which collect the sperm. After collection, they will join together as a single one. That single duct will go upside on the top of the testis, where it will form a cap-like structure known as epididymis. After forming epididymis, again it will move towards downward, and after moving downward, again it ascends upward and will enter inside abdomen in the form of this ascending tube is known as sperm duct. It is also known as vas deferens. Sperm duct is also known as vas deferens. Now again I am going to enlarge this diagram. This one is our abdomen, that is complete body cavity. The two testes are here. The sperm duct of each testis will enter inside abdomen. Now in the lower part of your abdomen there is urinary bladder. You have studied urinary bladder opens outside by means of urethra. The two common sperm ducts, that is the two sperm ducts which are arising from each testis, will enter inside abdomen, and just behind the urinary bladder, the two sperm ducts will fuse together to give rise a single one. That single tubular structure, this one is urethra. That single structure is known as a common sperm duct. This common sperm duct comes downward and opens inside urethra. This common sperm duct comes downward and opens inside urethra. You see in this way. This one is urethra. The two common ducts sperm duct will open inside urethra. Before opening into urethra, this common sperm duct receives the secretion of three different types of glands, and these three different types of glands are: first, seminal vesicle; second, prostate gland; and third is Cowper's gland. Cowper's gland is paired, seminal vesicle is paired, but prostate gland is single anyway. Now, these after receiving the secretion of these three glands, the secretion is mixed with sperm, because already you know that common sperm duct is responsible for carrying sperms. The sperms are mixed with the secretion of these three glands, and this mixture of sperm and the secretion of three different types of glands will give rise to semen. In this way, you have seen the semen is poured inside urethra by common sperm duct. The part of urethra behind the part of urethra which is behind the opening of this duct is covered by means of muscular wall, and it will give rise to penis. The function of penis is to help in the transmission of sperms from male person into the vagina of the female, as well as it also helps in urination. Okay, thank you. This is about the male reproductive system. In next video, we shall study about female reproductive system.